Okay.
We're here.
Good
Hello.
evening, boils and ghouls.
All right.
Nice.
You should have played it.
Prepare your ears to get fucked. Welcome to Fuck This Movie.
Hell yeah.
That's where we are.
We got the usual cast plus one tonight.
Plus one.
Yes.
Whoa. First ever guest.
Yeah, first ever.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're the first guest.
Oh, I'm fucking honored, guys.
Yeah, you should be. You should be. It's a huge honor.
Yeah.
Huge. We're very important people.
Our listeners
doing
can be
very
very
important
thrilled.
things.
So
Yeah.
you're one
Yeah.
listener.
No, you're not. You're here.
Hey, I mean, we get some people. Every
You know
once
what?
in a while.
I'm gonna be really impressed later. When
Yeah,
I
probably.
listen to this.
Probably.
It's at higher stakes than normal for you,
Yeah.
though.
So a couple
this
introductions here. We've got the man that makes this all possible and donates his time and money and all that. He's too old to be cool. We call him JB. Everybody calls him JB. But his
Everybody.
name is John Brown.
I literally am just now learning his name is John Brown. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Who?
Like, literally nobody has ever called him John Brown.
You have a sound over right now that is clamping?
We don't
Yeah.
have it.
We've
If you
always
want
wanted
sound
to.
with that,
I want
I
a
feel like I
soundboard.
need to be editing these things.
You should be.
No,
Yeah.
I want
You know
the
who does? It's
soundboard.
Matt Wise.
Yeah, I just
And
want a
Nate
soundboard
Patterson,
in
they take
general for
turns.
sure.
Yeah? I
Yeah.
think Matt Wise, what's he throw in there? Like a cat pun?
No, he doesn't do anything special. He just edits.
Can
Just
you
makes
hook
it
up the
look nice.
soundboard?
Does some
I
cutting.
can do it.
I want one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We
We totally need a
really
soundboard.
badly.
Hell yeah.
I
want to be this.
What
The
was
guy that
that?
just made the fart noise. That is Reese Anweiler. He's the man who watched everything, and he's too young to be self-aware.
Hello.
And our special guest today, he's a horror fanatic. He's a longtime Fangoria subscriber. That's a magazine he still subscribes to today.
Uh-huh.
Like they actually send him
Yeah,
magazines.
people
in
still
the mail,
read
and he reads
magazines.
them.
That's
In
crazy.
do not bend cardboard mailers.
Ooh.
I don't even
You
know how
say
to read.
colors?
Most of them I haven't opened.
Are they collectible?
There's a lot. Yeah, well, yeah.
You haven't opened them? What's the point of getting
There's
the
like
magazine?
3 of them I haven't opened. Okay, most of them
All right.
are damaged. Let's be honest, they're damaged when
All
they're
right. Well, his name is Eric Jocko. He's our special guest, first time
Damager
ever.
of Fangoria.
And then you get me, who needs no introduction. So
Too self-aware to be young.
His name is Dustin, by the way. Dustin Howard.
that is the first time I've ever been introduced. You know what? I've waited so long for someone to pick up what I was throwing down, and we had to have a special guest before I get introduced. That's pretty cool.
Crazy.
I am a
This
special
is,
guest.
this is a memorable moment.
I literally didn't know your name. I thought it was DJ Holler.
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually really fair. So we normally do we start off with the "What have you been watching" segment, and I want to kind of like, since we have 4 movies to go over today, I
And
want to kind of
4 guests.
and 4
Four,
guests.
4 hosts.
I want to kind of like narrow this down. So why don't y'all give me like
5?
just 1 or 2
1 or 2. Ooh, okay.
Halloween themed things that you've been watching, and if you haven't watched any Halloween shit, tell me what you're planning on doing on Halloween. How about that?
You mean like horror themed or Halloween themed? Those are different.
Halloween theme.
I mean,
Halloween
you should- I'll take either.
Okay.
We're not picky here.
like,
And whoever wants to start, just throw it out there.
The only thing I really watched because of other Halloween-oriented things has been Midnight Mass. I finished that,
oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
and it was fucking awesome.
What a
Yeah.
fucking ride, huh?
It was.
so good.
It was fucking great. Great casting for the most part. Fantastic performances for the most part. Wonderful use of the vampire mythos and concept.
Without ever using the word vampire.
Yeah. No, it was super
so good.
clever. It was really engaging. It was fucking awesome.
And-
The for the most part is reserved for the guy that played Riley. He sucked. He sucked hard.
The kind of lead of the show.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
At least for about half the show, he's the lead.
yeah, it felt like a first time actor, right?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't. I've seen him in other shit. He plays the same
Yeah.
character.
Almost like a generic Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
a-
that's what we were saying. He's like
Yeah.
generic white
Yeah.
guy.
No,
like
for
there's
sure.
like 5 other actors
He's
who
a
I
guy
actually
that
can't tell
he's a
apart.
guy that would have been in a movie with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
when I was in high school.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
a guy who lost roles to Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
been an
exactly.
energetic friend.
yeah. So that's who that guy was, and it's kind of a shame because he was really a turd in a punch bowl because like the performances were fantastic. Like the second to the preacher. What was
The
her name?
lady.
Yeah.
The psycho.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
horrible. Like,
That-
I
She's
hated
a
her.
horrible person.
Yeah,
I hated her.
The performance was fucking
best performance.
fantastic.
Reminiscent of what's
And-
her name? The nurse from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Yeah,
Nest.
right.
That kind of hateable
Ratchet.
character.
So we were actually talking
Ratchet,
about So there's actually two. If you want to do like the most horrible characters in a movie ever, it's Nurse, right? I think she's number 2. Number 1 is Mary Tyler Moore's character in Ordinary People. It won like Best Picture in like 1988 or something, or 1989, or I don't remember the exact year.
That's one I haven't seen yet. Actually.
No, dude, it's great.
Yeah.
Like it's a great movie, but Mary Tyler Moore, you just want to punch her in the face. Like every time she comes on screen and talks, you're just like, "Who is this bitch?" Like, God damn, I want her to
Leave me
die.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a
Going back to your movie.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah, we got off track here.
yeah.
wonderful
not a
retribution
Oh yeah.
ending.
Yes.
It's
No,
exactly
it was a
what I
very
wanted.
very clean ending. Very just in its own way, very wholesome ending.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean,
Hopeful.
can't really.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't
Yeah.
on target for that show, so it was
No.
a good twist.
Yeah, yeah. No, it
So
was.
for the series of series that this guy has done, I don't know where I rank it. Like, it's always going to be Haunting of Hill House number 1 for me because I think it's just the best one by a lot.
It is amazing. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
then, like this one is, I kind of, it's kind of on par with the Edgar Allan Poe-ish one.
So yeah, I think that I'd put the House of Usher on the top, and then I would
over
yeah.
Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, I would. I think Haunting.
I would go Usher and then Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
Hill House 3.
I
I feel
have
like you
a.
guys have. It's been too long since you watched
I have
it.
a hard time. I don't know. I would rank the Haunting and Midnight Mass probably.
We can all agree that Bly Manor is a piece of shit, though, right?
I don't
think it's a
of
piece of
shit. I
shit.
didn't watch it yet.
It just doesn't live up to
it
any of the
shouldn't.
others.
It shouldn't have been associated. If it was on its own and never once described as associated with any of that, it'd have been fine.
Yeah.
It'd have been just another horror movie.
I think the name and the cast and the creator just it made it almost feel like it's going to be a sequel or something.
And
I
that was
wish-
unfortunate.
My thing with that, I wish it was unmemorable. But the thing is, I just remember that it was bad.
Memorably
You know, like-
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah, it was,
sure, okay.
and there was a twist at the end, which the twist was it wasn't a horror movie. It was a lesbian love story.
It's a
instead.
love story.
Yeah.
I
I
think
haven't watched it yet, so I don't want to pass
Oh,
judgment
sorry.
on that one.
Spoiler alert, John.
No, it's yeah.
there's
I'll be
lesbians.
honest. It's a horror movie.
I think
I'm winking.
I think Usher is a more fun story
Yeah.
than Hill House was. Hill House was more horror. to
Yeah,
me.
so I
This is the scariest one. Like,
Yeah.
it creeped me the fuck out.
I mean, also, I knew what was like the whole idea of.
Well, yeah,
Usher.
it's
I knew
a
what was happening.
remake
Yeah,
and a
But-
readaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've read
and
Edgar Allan
that
Poe's
was
complete
the
works. I know.
that was
I know
the
how this
only
goes.
books I had when I was a child.
Right.
Now,
I would absolutely say that The Haunting was the most true to horror,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it really delivered
felt-
on being
it
true to
felt
horror.
Yeah.
you know?
scary, right?
The
And-
others, Midnight Mass and that, and the Follow the House of Usher, I really liked what they were
was
doing with
fun.
them. Yeah, it was interesting. It was a different take on things. They
yeah,
were
I think
fun.
Usher is the most unique of his miniseries.
Right.
And
I get why Reese would rank the Midnight Mass higher because
Yeah.
he's got a thing for nuns and priests.
Well, I was gonna say it is definitely more geared towards me than
Yeah.
I mean I really like Fall of the House of Usher. I mean the first one,
Yeah, Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House. It's a lot harder for me to want to get invested on a haunted house. A family moves into a haunted house. It's just like
I think
that's what started us in horror. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
know,
that's
but
the-
like-
I don't remember that being the bit. I think it's like a family drama with flashbacks of when
I'm not
they
saying it's
lived in
bad
a
or
haunted
anything.
house once upon a time, and that's
Yeah,
that was the cool
the
dynamic.
thing
for
that
me.
that I really appreciated about that was that you were getting the aftermath of a horror movie
like how it affected the
while
people.
getting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see
The
the,
mental-
entirety of a horror movie.
the
'Cause
trauma of
I
it.
feel like if you had cut out all the flashbacks and sequence them together, you would just have a full length horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought it was really, really cool, but
It made you feel it personally.
Yeah.
Right. I mean.
Oh yeah,
Put
yeah.
you in those spots.
And it was fucking scary at times, but Midnight Mass was fantastic because just a cool flip of a very old idea, and like honestly, a lot of the characters were just so genuine. And I really
the more
did.
you dislike religion, the more you're gonna like Midnight Mass, because it totally just shows how like religion just like destroys people. Like that's the entire concept.
It's also not. I mean, I feel like the creator is Mike Flanagan is very much not. If anything, a lot of his work has like a very Christian undertone to it.
Yeah.
So he's
or
and
anti-Christian.
but like. I mean, I would guess that he was raised Christian.
Yeah.
Right.
And probably still believes
like
to some degree.
Right.
But I mean, like the sheriff standing up in Midnight Mass and giving a speech, it's very much like it's not shit talking this guy like, oh my God, he's just another religious guy.
Right.
He's religious and he's not he's doing like religion correctly in that it's for him and it's not to impose on other people and it's not to impede the progress of mankind.
Right.
It's
the sheriff dynamic was actually like a really cool part.
No,
of the series.
And I'm a big
With
fan
his son
of
who
that
wanted to
dude.
explore Christianity.
well.
Yeah.
Like,
and got corrupted by the church.
So I mean, the thing is though, like one thing that I enjoyed about this show is that I honestly, I mean, the preacher was really trying to kind of do a solid.
Yeah.
He really was. Like he had good intentions.
Yeah.
yeah,
his
he's like
crazy-
the biggest dope in the world, though. Like,
Well, I
honestly,
mean-
like, dude, it's a fucking vampire. Like,
Yeah, well, I
it's an
mean,
angel.
that's the thing. It's neither here nor there. If
Well, it's
it
got
is,
wings.
if it is, I mean, it
I'm
It's an
afraid of it, I'm
angel.
supposed to be afraid of it.
it actually checks out. But I mean, the bit is though, like what I enjoyed and appreciated about the character is he was doing like good things with it, and his intention was to like control it and help like lead people through it. And then his psychopathic fucking second in command
Just like
shit
Hitler.
the bed, and just made it what it was. But no, I mean it was interesting.
He was just trying to purify his people.
Yeah.
He was not trying to purify. He was trying to like bring life back to their dead, failing community. Like it's honestly, he had like noble intentions. He was trying really
Because
hard.
he uses it for like the disabled girl and
he gives them all back
Spiced the
their
sacrament
health.
with vampire blood.
Yeah,
Let's not make him out to be like some like a nobleman here.
Well, no, I'm just saying he spiked it because he knew what it was doing to him and what it did for him, and so he wanted to bring that back to his dying town. So
Just pointing out that the title is "Fuck This Movie," not.
Oh, I mean,
I guess other cinematic fuckery
yeah, see, it applies.
category.
Bases
have it
covered.
dude.
But this is gonna be like 7 hours podcast if we haven't even touched any
Yeah,
of the
All
four.
right, so-
It has a
movies
whole
that we-
flow. It has a whole flow.
we've done episodes where we
You'll
talk
see.
about 3 movies and they were under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, the Midnight Mass was fantastic. I think all of his stuff, if a person hasn't watched any of his series, I think they're very good. I haven't watched Bly Manor, but I'm sure it's well produced.
Don't skip
And I'm
it.
It's
sure
not really.
Don't-
it's probably well acted. I'd have
You
to
think it's
assume.
worth watching?
Do your due diligence.
I think it's worth watching. I don't
It is
think
worth
it's bad. I just don't think it is
it's
nearly
somebody
as good
trying
as
to
the other ones.
tell a story, Dustin.
I got pissed off.
I believe you.
I got to the end and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm surprised I didn't get a text during that. I was like, what the hell's happening here?
But yeah, I think that
My
was
new remote.
pretty much all I had watched, really.
Is it a
'cause
pro
I've been
remote?
doing Halloween stuff otherwise, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Dustin?
I have nothing, so
Oh, see?
You ain't watched shit?
We're done with half of the people here. And you're talking about we're taking too long.
for Halloween, I'm going to John's block party. That
It's
is
not
what I'm
my
doing for-
block party. It's
Yeah.
apparently a party on my block.
I'm going to. I mean, it's your block
Across from the church?
so it's your block party.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds
They
fun.
got Trunk or God across the street, and you got
Right. You can just come
That's-
on in
that's
my
my
garage
plans.
and check out some Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff.
Oh, that's what I'm
Oh,
doing.
I mean, I'm gonna go there,
Yeah.
but I mean, not.
Right on.
And then I'm gonna end at Nate's house. We always do. Nate White.
Yeah, that's fun. His wife hates
What's
me,
his
so I
address?
won't
Let's
be
tell
there.
everybody.
I know.
And the phone number in case we want
Explicit
to.
rating.
You know, the fucked up thing is, wife hates me, and she hates me because she thought I was arrogant in high school. I don't. She didn't. Here's the thing. Shocker. I'm arrogant now. I wasn't in high school. I think she thinks I was somebody else.
That's possible.
I really believe that because I was talking to her at Nate's house and I was like, yeah, I used to hang out with this guy and this guy and like those two guys hung out with two other guys, arrogant as fuck. And I think she thinks that I was one of those guys. And I totally am not.
By association.
Yeah, guilty.
Super big red flag to me. People who judge people by how they knew them in high school.
That is
Like,
pretty
fucking grow up.
Yeah.
dude.
Absolutely.
You're an adult.
Your wife's a bitch, man.
You know how many friends I have from high
She's a
school?
bitch for not liking me from
One.
when she didn't know me in high school. I can't help it. Anyway,
I'm gonna get my dick kicked in tomorrow. Thanks, Dustin. Yeah, you're friends with Dustin.
Does he listen? Does she listen? She
Hell
doesn't.
no.
Nobody
I don't.
listens.
She don't even listen to her husband. It's Nate. If you knew Nate White, you know she ain't listening to nothing that he is associated with.
Okay, since half of our guys are done with nothing to talk about, I'm cutting my stuff down to 5 movies.
Oh my god, 5!
Do you do anything?
Are they all horror themed?
Oh, I could. There's 15 movies I could talk about. I'm just cutting it down since we got 4, and they're all because they're ones I don't want to miss out talking about. So the most recent one I watched, I finally got around, courtesy of Dustin's Blu-ray, to watching Notorious. I had the Hitchcock movie.
Yes.
Had not seen it.
It is not Halloween themed.
It's a thriller.
Okay.
Which is scary to some people, Dustin.
Okay. I didn't really know anything about
I
it.
love it, dude.
I knew it was a Hitchcock movie called Notorious, and it was a thriller.
Yeah, that's
you know, it could have been Birds. It could have been North by Northwest. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it took a while to hook me. I think this probably doesn't mean anything to anyone who hasn't seen it, but the party, like the big party, that's probably about where I was like, okay, now I'm on board. But it was a pretty slow burn for me. But no, it was really good. I mean, it's Hitchcock.
I'm like, it's weird because like the arrows and stuff, but dude, Ingrid Bergman is sexy as fuck.
Oh my god, she's my age in this movie. She's 31.
Yeah, so that counts. Even though she'd be like 112 today or whatever.
Would to this day would.
Yeah.
I got the shovel.
Like Cary Grant's a lucky guy. God damn.
Then I watched a new Netflix thriller, directed and starring Anna Kendrick, Woman of the Hour.
The real. That's a real
I was
story,
curious about
Yeah,
that.
it's based on a real
I
event
watched that as well. That's good.
of a serial killer that was on the dating show. Is that what it's called? The dating show?
Dating game?
The
Dating game. Yeah. And it's not like true to life as far as what happened on the stage and everything, but it's inspired by the events and telling the story of this serial killer in a honestly really unique way. I really liked it. I was really impressed.
Her debut.
Yeah, her
Right.
debut, directorial
Which
debut.
I read in the room, right? She got like flack from another director.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the reading room, and she just kind of just blew it off and is blowing people away with this.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. It honestly seems like she's really coming into like really just stepped right into the directorial chair very smoothly and did a really good job. I thought it was a really impressive movie.
You'll see her in the future telling women's stories.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I feel like she's gonna maybe go the way of Greta Gerwig, where we're gonna see even less of her on screen and more of her directing. More Barbie. Maybe she'll do Barbie too. We'll see. Or Ken. She'll do Ken. Then number 3, I watched a very early John Carpenter movie. Someone's Watching Me. I think it was a made-for-TV thriller. Honestly, right out the gate, he was good. Like the directing, the fear and stuff is really there. It's just like a kind of, I would say, very inspired by Rear Window thriller. Just like woman constantly being bothered and harassed by one of her neighbors. She's being driven crazy by it. Nobody believes her, you know. But really, really well done. Especially for such an early film in his career.
Did she become obsessive in Rear Window?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. She, goes down some dark paths. And I mean, it's more aggressive than Rear Window because like people do end up like dying.
Yeah.
Like the scene that's very much one for one. The scene in Rear Window where they're on walkie talkies or whatever, and he's in his apartment, but he's like watching her go into the neighbor's apartment. There's a scene very much like that. But yeah, I definitely say worth your time, especially if you're just a John Carpenter completionist. And then I watched an A24 horror movie called In Fabric. It's been on my watch list for a little while, probably since it came out. I knew it was going to be a weird one, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. It was very, very weird, but like in like a mesmerizing. I feel like I want to get like it's like kind of halfway, I would say, between. I want to say, guy who directed What We Do in the Shadows. Taika Waititi, halfway between Taika Waititi and David Lynch.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds really fucked up.
And also, and it has like
it's really fucked up, but I kind of want to laugh.
Yes, no, yes. The dialogue is very weird and like stilted, and like people are very direct. Like, you know, oh, Cynthia, you're not looking very beautiful today. Have you, you know, like just like very straightforward, awkward, rude at times, but like that kind of weird European sense of humor. Highly recommend it. Just like don't go into expecting a very typical narrative. It kind of follows this dress through like several owners in a very interesting way.
Okay.
But highly recommend. I really liked it. It's an A24 movie. Oh, this is the director. He did another movie a few years ago called Barbarian Sound Studio. That's like a guy doing the sound design for a horror movie and then like slowly going insane. That one's also very fun. I highly recommend that one. And then the last movie I wanted to share about, and I'll probably talk about it later because it's currently in theaters, Smile 2.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fucking awesome.
Have you seen Smile?
I have not. I did.
You watched Smile 2 without watching Smile?
Yeah, I knew the premise of Smile, and I'd heard multiple people say like it's fine, it's a fine movie. But then I'd also heard multiple people say this new one was like miles better, and you don't. It's like I mean, it's like a Final Destination movie or something, in that you don't need to see them all.
All the characters in the first one died, so you can just start over.
All you need to know is the premise, and also it explains the premise like 4 times.
Paranormal Activity was the same way, right?
Yeah. So whether or not you've seen the first one, I highly recommend seeing. I thought, as far as like mainstream blockbuster horror movies go, this might be like one of the best I've seen in the past decade.
I was gonna watch Smile this weekend, and I looked it up on Just Watch, and I saw it was on Hulu, and like I woke up with the remote in my hand, and I was on Hulu, and I had like typed in SM. And then
well, you're dead right now.
And then the Roku screensaver came on. I woke up with the Roku screensaver, and it's like, oh, I didn't get there.
This was all your last seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's sounds like something that would happen in a Smile movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Smile.
Yeah, and I'm still.
Have you seen the sequel?
No, I haven't seen the second one.
Between the two of you, you've seen both of them.
Well, I'm on a budget.
Yeah.
I haven't been on a budget in years.
Shit.
It's hard to steal a theater visit.
I'll steal a visit. Steal it.
You don't know the right people.
But
you don't know the right back doors. I'm
still gonna go. I'm not gonna go. I'm still gonna watch the first one eventually. I just, I was never really in a hurry to see it, and I'm glad I didn't wait because
it seemed like interesting enough. It piqued my interest when I saw it. You know, I saw the trailers, but it just seemed like enough of like a gimmicky.
The chick on the poster creeped me out.
So that I was just like,
this horror movie looks scary. Not watching.
I didn't want to jump into it, so I was just gonna wait till the thing was.
I loved it when they were putting it into culture. Like they had that lady go to baseball games.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and just stand around with a creepy smile.
The batter and smile.
Well, no, I mean, like
that was really good marketing.
That's cool. That's really cool marketing. But like that kind of marketing just makes me think even more that it's a shtick.
They got to trick people into seeing.
That's what kind of like it's cool, but I don't know.
Nobody's ever gonna live up to the original like Blair Witch hype that they, you know, the Paranormal Activity hype that they had because it was brand new. And that sucks.
Blair Witch.
Yeah.
They did not live up to that.
I mean, if you lived online at that time, it did. I mean,
Who lived online?
Like,
I don't remember if I was living at that time. What year did it come out?
Like, dude, the websites, like, there were,
I think I was 6.
there were 9 months where you had no idea that it was even a movie. Like, you just thought it was something that was actually happening. Like, they found this shit, and it was real. Like, you thought it was real for 9 months.
So in other words,
before the movie come out.
You had to be there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Put that effort into the movie.
Yeah.
You just had to be there.
I mean, it was definitely cool when it happened if you were online where the media was.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah. Coming in blind, it was pretty boring and hard to watch.
Comparing
It was pretty hard to watch.
Is what I'm getting.
No,
He's just talking about the marketing.
Just the marketing.
Nothing.
The film is better.
The film is
apparently.
much better.
But yeah, if you want a good horror movie in theaters, like big budget, it goes places I was not expecting. You know, it's constantly twist and turning. I was kept on my toes. The suspense and like the scares are like really good. Apparently the first one has like a shit ton of jump scares, and this one does have a lot, but they never feel cheap or like stupid or like they're just trying to get a cheap. I don't remember if there's a cat in the
Just
movie.
one in Supernatural and one in Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, I don't think there's a cat in the movie.
It's like always a cat jump scare. That's like the biggest.
Yeah, with the worst like dubbed in cat sound.
from the 70s.
Meow. Yeah, Smile 2, regardless of if you've seen the first movie or not. Highly, highly recommend, especially if you can see it in theaters.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my summary of the stuff I've been watching.
Jocko, you've got a couple things that you've been watching.
I have, yeah. I watched, I caught up on some that I should have seen, like X, and I watched the new Salem's Lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it was Salem's Lot. I mean, it was another attempt.
Was it more like Salem's Little?
It wasn't much, I'll be honest. And then I watched Beetlejuice 2 a couple nights ago.
Did you like?
Yeah, I liked it. I probably won't rewatch it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the rewatchability I think that the first one did, but that could just be nostalgia.
Yeah, I'll ask you
It
in
was
40
new,
years. See what you say.
something different. But I think my favorite that I've seen recently is Oddity.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Oddity. That was
Oh,
just
yes.
unique. And,
Yeah, did you watch
very
that
unique.
yet?
Mhm. Yeah.
What is Oddity?
I talked about it a week or two ago.
we talked about it
or
because
last
we had both
episode.
watched it.
I like totally zoned that out.
Yeah, no,
Of
it's
course you did.
it's a
I think it's a AMC
mystery
original.
thriller.
It is, yeah.
About a woman getting murdered as she's renovating a ridiculous horror movie house that's basically a fucking castle.
Yeah.
But it's only shot in 2 rooms, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Very little production value. I mean, there's 3 scenes basically
essentially
in the whole movie, and a total of 5 characters.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's 1 or 2 on screen ever. And with as minimal as it is, it's just disturbing enough to make you feel uneasy.
They make
through the
great
whole thing.
use of everything.
Yeah, the airiness, even the silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the movie is eerie, and that was fun. Yeah,
it's one I've been talking about a lot to people lately. It's really solid.
Yeah.
Also, right out the gate, pretty high on the commercial meters.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomatoes and the popcorn meter were pretty high on that one.
Yeah, which is weird because like I don't even know when it came out. I just heard that it was kind of good, and I looked it up and I liked it.
Yeah,
But like, did it come out this month? Did it come out
it
last
was
month?
really recent. Last month,
Yeah.
the end of last month. Really recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was totally worth it. Yeah.
That's like I think like a perfect streaming movie because I feel like I've seen movies on streaming that's like, damn, this is a big movie. I really think you guys should have put this in theaters. And there's movies that feel like this was made just for streaming and it's a piece of shit. But like Oddity was like, it feels like just a nice small movie that's it's good and quality, but you wouldn't, I don't know if get anything extra out of seeing in theaters as far as you might notice the production value a bit more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it's a good
The only
streaming
thing
movie.
that'd make that better in a theater is if you put one of those wooden men
in the audience,
as people were leaving.
Yeah.
And
No, that
you
fucking
know.
the golem was sweet, and the
Yeah.
use of the golem.
That
I
would
felt
be
that way
wonderful.
about Prey. Like, You know,
yeah.
You know, like
good streaming
like
movie.
you know what? This is how they should do Predator movies. Like, stop putting this shit in the theater.
Yeah.
Which they're not, because I'm pretty sure there's one coming to theater. Next year,
I don't know that. Did we ever talk about that? John and I rewatched Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah.
And John was just like, man, like I really want this to be good. And then like halfway through, he's like, man, this isn't good. I'm like, you know what? It's a Predator movie.
Yeah. It's not
that's what it is. And like all of a sudden, we were just fine with it.
Yeah.
You know? Like if you go into it thinking this is a Predator movie,
then you can just laugh how bad it is.
Honestly, that's one of the best creatures of that time. Like Aliens and Predators both are some of the best on-screen creatures.
It's a fucking shame that Predator has gotten the short end of the stick. And
Predator should be the elite of it, and it should
just
make the money. But
it's just not because they dorked it up every time. They've never had a good formula. They've never given it enough credit. They've never explored it enough. They always cheese it up too much.
Give me something. Give me some history. Give me something in the books, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna. That's the thing. You're not gonna get anything in the books.
There is a rich culture on it.
Oh yeah,
right. And
there's a bunch of novels. There's a bunch of comics, and all we get is it's a bad guy who hunts people. Fight.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Every fucking movie, and it's pretty lame. So I could bitch for days about that.
You're dying for that, aren't you?
Yeah, we should talk about that.
I also watched In a Violent Nature.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, what do you think of that fucking piece of shit?
Dustin was trying for that hard.
I was like, he wanted to make this because he's like, I really liked it.
Oh,
I did. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
The yoga was fun.
The yoga. There's yoga? I haven't seen it.
It was fun.
That's all the movie was some neat kills and then a bunch of walking.
What else do you expect from it? That's exactly what it was.
I know. What pisses me off is every motherfucker was like, oh, this is so different. This is so intelligent. This is so blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's not. It's fucking Jason and you put the camera behind him.
They did.
I wouldn't be so
it's
pissed.
Not even Jason. It's Jason.
They made like 14 movies.
It's
and they never
Jason adjacent.
It's
adjacent.
Almost Manhattan. I mean, it's like he just literally said, "This is where I'm supposed to be now," you know, and like kill everyone in his path.
The movie was obnoxiously tedious. That movie felt the same as Uncut Gems. It's like, we're gonna make you sit through some shit that no one would ever want to sit through, and you're gonna fucking do it on the back of this fucking artsy premise. I fucking hated it.
You're new to the
podcast. I thought it was fun.
Uncut Gems is like John saying the N-word, basically. Like it's like the worst thing he can say about a movie. It's like an Uncut Gem. It's like, oh god.
You know what did that movie better? Fucking Rubber. Halfway through that movie, I'm like, I already saw this movie, and it was way more interesting, and it was a fucking tire.
Rubber was really fun.
That is just,
fun.
It's the same thing. It's the same clever attempt at some art house look at horror, but that one was good. And that one was just kills. Now, the production value was solid. The kills were cool. Just everything took way the fuck too long.
Yeah, it was slow. Because you had to walk with him.
I know.
You literally had to walk with him.
It's like literally
the kills were
like
too slow.
50 minutes of the movie is just wading through leaves.
It was.
The ending was atrocious that they made you sit through that.
Please spoil it.
Because they fucking give you what is going to be the ending. They have this shot. They have the scene that is the actual ending. But oh no! You have to sit through 20 minutes more stupid bullshit before it comes back to the exact same shot and it ends the movie. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Well, now I'm kind of curious what that means.
Fuck this movie.
Yeah.
I fucking...
It's part of it,
Now, I will, like I said, the same thing I said for Uncut Gems. Like, there are parts of the film I can appreciate. But with it being just like all the reviews and everybody just sucking this movie off and how awesome it was, and I watch it, and it's like just exactly what I thought it was going to be. Just a very average horror movie that's kind of artsy, built on a shtick. I was just like, I just don't see the appeal. But I mean,
it's the principle of the thing.
It's nice cinematography.
Principalities involved.
You know what? Because they made you watch it.
Yeah,
that's why you're mad.
The only really good scene outside of any of the kills, the only thing that was actually funny was when it was down to because that's the thing that's annoying too. Every character is the same as every other character in every shitty slasher movie. They're all the exact same characters. Every dipshit teenager is the same dipshit teenager. The dipshit sheriff, same dipshit sheriff. The fucking killer is the same fucking pseudo-zombie killer. Everything's the fucking same. But the only funny scene is when it's down to, the last surviving couple, and it's like them in the woods, and they're about to concoct their plan to fight the guy and take him out. And they're like, you watch him like walk up with them 20 feet away, and they like duck down, and they're like, oh, be quiet, you can't see us. And they're just sitting there rustling around, and you're looking over his shoulder as these fucktards are just like, obviously in this guy's line of sight. That scene is the movie. Like that's the best you get out of that movie. You could watch. Is it
like listening to a guard in a video game?
Yeah, no, it's exactly that.
Shoot a gun, and it goes, what was that? Must have been my imagination.
Yeah. No, so the plan is to like the chick, the guy's like, oh, distract him. And he says that, Russell, and then he pops up, not like, 10 feet, 20 feet behind this thing. He pops up literally right behind it, and then he just gets fucking axed in the face. I'm like, you clearly have never read the definition of distraction. Like, that's not how that's supposed to work. Like, why? Now there's elements about it that I can see people liking, but just as a whole, just watch Rubber.
If you want to watch this movie that's kind of like Jason with the camera behind him, instead watch this movie about a tire.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
Rubber was awesome.
There's way more.
It was like the third episode we did.
That's one of the things.
Second.
That's one of the things that pissed me off so bad about that movie too. Is they could have done so much more, because I would have been super stoked to see actual character development, but they didn't do any of that. They had one scene where he's sitting down playing with the car that you get to see any of the character, and that's what I thought it would be like. On the description, I thought it was going to be a piece of shit, which I think it was. But what I hoped it would be is like maybe they'll spend more time with the character, since everyone's saying how different this movie is. Let's see some time with the character, and they just didn't do that. Instead, they just had like 5 good kills.
What if after every kill, they just dubbed in dialogue of the character going, oh, that was so cool? Would that have been like enough motivation?
That movie would make a fantastic Mystery Science Theater. That would be amazing.
That's our next. I'm in on that project, by the way.
I would love to do that. It'd be so good. But no, there's plenty of good production value to the movie. Like, there's cool parts, but it just pissed me off that everyone was just like, this is amazing. This is so different. This is so smart. That's the thing. I read a review where somebody's like, well, if you don't want to watch a horror movie where you just can turn your brain off, this is the one for you. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the same as every other horror movie. How is this engaging your brain? It's the same thing. It's a guy walking around killing random people, but doing it really slowly. Like that.
I feel like it's the opposite. Like, you do turn your brain off.
Yeah, exactly.
What the original slashers of the 80s was mindless killing. That's basically what that was.
It's a really nice, well done version of that.
Jason is already the most boring Halloween villain. So
it's just a redo of that, but instead of a machete, he has a hook, and instead of a mask, he has
a bag
or fucking what was he wearing?
A sack. Yeah.
Just a sack. I thought it had eye holes or like goggles on it.
The town that dreaded sundown, isn't that guy a bag over his head with a hook?
He had it was a fire bag.
That's what I thought. It was something specific to
okay.
It was a fire bag.
Wood cutting. Yeah. But that
was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jocko.
That was fun. All right, what are the features now? We got 4 of them.
We do.
And 3 of them are Halloween movies, and then whatever reason.
Oh my god!
At least one of us don't remember one of them.
He's seen it before.
Yeah, I should have done a rewatch on Scanner Darkly. That shit the animation, man, just kind of like lulled me.
It's mesmerizing.
And it was like, because I had seen the movie, but I couldn't really remember.
We're starting with Scanner.
I guess we are.
Start with Scanner Darkly.
Fluidly happened. You and the tagline and such.
Let's get some stuff about it.
Some stuffs.
Wait, Who do you call to get beer in here?
I know.
Normally just John.
I failed. You can blame Halloween for.
An undercover cop in a not too distant future becomes involved with a dangerous new drug and begins to lose his own identity as a result. The tagline is, "Everything is not going to be okay." A Scanner Darkly, 2006, directed by Richard Linklater.
Oh, Richard Linklater.
Richard Linklater. I think this is the first of his movies we've done on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was undecided. I was struggling to find a horror movie I really wanted to pick as far as like a personal favorite, because I was going for a personal favorite instead of. I started looking for a new one, and then I decided to go for a personal favorite instead. And then I waited a little too long, and then had it down to a few, and kind of just threw a dart and picked this one. And admittedly, it's a bit more like a mystery thriller type than a Halloween thriller, but I don't fucking care.
My notes say Addiction, the Halloween movie.
I just was there something you were going to say about it?
I was just going to comment on the rotoscoping.
Yeah.
Being different than a lot of rotoscoping I've seen, because most of the time that I've seen that, I hadn't seen it done with cell shading, which is what made it so visually fucking weird. Like, rotoscoping is already really weird, but when you rotoscope fucking cell shading as well, like it gets really weird, because there's like all kinds of, there's already nothing but motion in rotoscope, but then you just have floating shapes and colors just like moving around people's faces. Like it's a hell of a thing to look at for sure.
Yeah,
it was a really cool use of that, and kind of a different thing with that I've seen.
I think they do a really great job of like taking advantage of the animation style as far as like they start off with the bug scene, which is like you couldn't really do in live action unless you have like a multi-million-dollar movie, and I'm assuming this movie is shot for like, under 20 million or less, so like, and his suit that he wears,
done. It's been done.
Okay, for that good
Show 1.
Okay, let's go compare it to Creepshow and see which one did it better.
The Stephen King installment.
But his suit, like his suit that he wears in the agency, I thought was another really good example of like why they chose to go animated on this. I mean, I think the main reason is just to go along with the like hallucinogens and the drugs,
the feel of it for sure. I think it was a good choice for the story overall, because like you're just immersed in unreality.
I mean, it purposely makes it that you can't tell what's real and what's fake and what's lies, and
Now the suit thing, man, that that cracked me up though, because it's like the most like visually obnoxious thing in the world. Like, cameras can't tell who I am. Like, nobody can tell who you are other than probably an asshole, because you look like an asshole wearing this goofy fucking suit. Like, you don't look like anybody. Of course you don't. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. It was a cool use of the animation and cool animation, but you just can't imagine like wearing that fucking thing. Like,
I want to read the short story now, because I'm very curious, like how it describes some of these things, especially that suit.
For sure. And that would be a weird thing to. Yeah, you could easily get lost in translation there with an attempt at that kind of a thing. So.
Yeah, but I also really like its very subtle sci-fi nature. As far as, I mean, it starts off by saying it takes place 7 years from now. It's just always going to be set 7 years in the future.
Yeah, that's smart.
That is neat. Sure. I dig that.
And it feels very much like you could see this kind of, it's akin to like Minority Report, that kind. But if you imagine like that kind of technology out in the middle of nowhere, like Winona Lake or Warsaw wouldn't have the top of the line version of these technologies, but it would have these technologies, and that's kind of what it feels like. It's like real podunk kind of small town use of these.
Yeah, he walks home.
Yeah, he just walks home. Which you do have to like, how does he leave the police station without being seen? And then somebody knows, but like, I have to agree that or I have to assume that they just don't want to spend 30 minutes going over every single minute detail of how this sci-fi technology works.
No, and that's if you're gonna watch anything that's sci-fi, pseudo sci-fi, like you are going to suspend disbelief. You go in knowing you will, so it's okay. The general idea of completely like foreign, not existing technology, it works.
Yeah,
it's okay.
But yeah, I think it really just stands out as a really fantastic sci-fi movie and an animated movie. I just really love this movie, and I was blown away. I mean, I probably haven't seen it in over 10 years, but really, I feel like beyond the first 30 minutes or something, I just did not remember much about it except for that I liked it, and I did. I really liked it again. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. Slow burn for me.
Yeah, it is very much that.
But star-studded cast.
Yeah, the cast was
interesting.
fantastic.
The dynamic between them, I feel like their personalities were really what their personalities would be in real life on that drug.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was real.
Yeah.
Even to that scope, and I don't know. It was entertaining for sure.
Yeah, the dialogue and the chemistry between the characters, especially all of the stoners.
Oh yeah.
Really fantastic.
No, I thought it was perfect casting, and I thought they just did a great job capturing what they were trying to capture with that. Definitely a super unique movie.
Yeah,
as far as the whole package goes.
It was my second watch of the movie. It had been like I hadn't seen it really since it came out. I dig the movie for the most part. The animation style is kind of weird.
It's super
it's
weird.
Kind of like distracting in a way.
Almost.
Yeah.
But all in all, I'd say it's a thumbs up on the movie. My only negative was, like I've already said multiple times, not really a Halloween movie, but.
Well, it's kind of rude to judge the movie for not being a Halloween.
I'm not judging the movie. I'm judging the pick. The movie gets a thumbs up. The pick gets a thumbs down. That's where you're at. Which that's okay, Reese, because you've had some really good picks this year.
Yeah, a couple of your picks have really been, looking up, kid. Keep trying.
Even. You picked Sound and Fury, and I'm like obsessed with that album right now.
Yeah, you like owe me one.
Yeah, I do, man. I really do. It was like life changing.
Okay, is that all we want to say about Scanner Darkly?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
it's
4
absolutely
thumbs
worth,
up and
absolutely
thumbs
worth
down.
the watch. Absolutely worth the watch.
Yeah,
especially like it is the most unique rotoscoping I've seen. No, I watched. I saw enough. Hey, that happens, man. It happens. Get old, you work too much. That's how it goes.
I was looking into this.
I've been wanting to pick a rotoscope movie, and if I do, it'll still be very different from that because that's the only time I've seen them do that kind of animation with rotoscope.
Yeah.
So definitely worth a watch, though, I say.
I was looking at other movies, all the movies based on Philip K. Dick novels. Obviously, the most notable is Blade Runner. But I was hoping there would be more good ones I hadn't seen yet. And it looks like I've probably seen all the good ones.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot. Total Recall, The Adjustment Bureau, Next, A Scanner Darkly, Blade Runner, Screamers, Imposter, Minority Report,
Screamers
and
could
Paycheck.
Screamers could have been.
Yeah, I think
good.
Adjustment Bureau is kind of the hidden gem in there.
Oh yeah,
I think that movie's like better than what.
Did that just come out a little bit ago?
2011.
2011. Oh, okay, it's a little bit older.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Like, because I rewatched it recently, and I watched it when it came out and didn't remember anything about it. And I rewatched it, and it was just like, okay, I remember this now. And it's like, for not remembering anything about it, it was way better than what I could have.
I mean, it was kind of hammy though, wasn't it?
It wasn't. I wouldn't say hammy.
I believe. I haven't seen it, but I know there were people who had issues taking seriously the part of the traveling thing. They have to wear fedoras or something like that. Isn't that part of that?
So basically there are these traveler, like these, I can't remember exactly, like basically these people that like control like the space and time, and those guys wear the hats, and the hat is what allows them to open these doors to different like times and realities and stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So
I think some people had a hard time taking that seriously, but I haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
I
mean,
yeah,
any like most
more
any
creative than whatever they came up with.
yeah, a lot of mechanics like that in these kinds of movies. Like, what's really that much better than another thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense because you see all these like creepy guys in hats like throughout the first half of the movie,
Right.
and then like you find out that that's like, oh, like why are all the creepy guys wearing hats? It's like,
Right.
well, that's literally their lifeline
Yeah.
to be who they are, you know?
yeah. Well,
I get, like, I know it wasn't like a super popular movie. I don't know that it really did that well, but like I did rewatch it semi recently, and I just remember thinking that it's like, you know, it wasn't like super memorable, and so I didn't really expect it to be like good.
Right.
And like I rewatched it, I'm like, you know, this is actually pretty decent. Like this is actually a pretty decent movie.
I haven't seen that or Screamers, so
Screamers
maybe
is
I shouldn't give up
not-
hope on Philip K. Dick.
Screamers is a cool concept. Like it's cool to see the idea put to film, but it needed more than it got. It needed a bigger budget. Like
Yeah.
it really did to deliver. Like it's not terrible, but it's really missing a lot.
I'll give it a shot
would
for
want,
Peter
but-
Weller.
Yeah, I mean, I dig.
remember loving it, but it was like 22 years
Yeah,
ago.
no, it's not like it's not bad. It needs more. They just didn't have the tools to really like
I'm a sucker for
accomplish.
Peter Weller,
No,
too.
I'm a huge Peter
badass.
Weller fan for sure.
He's like
so-
the ultimate scumbag.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
there was a thing on Netflix that was like an anthology thing a couple years ago.
Oh, it was Amazon.
Or was it Amazon?
Do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. It was.
Oh, okay.
No, it was called Electric Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was one segment with him, and it was fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I actually never watched that either.
Yeah.
There's more Philip K. Dick after all.
All right.
Next, what should we pick next?
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Let's do I'm Not a Serial Killer.
Okay.
I Am Not a Serial Killer, 2016, directed by Billy O'Brien.
Billy O'Brien.
Or Breen, I don't know. In a small Midwestern town, a troubled teen with homicidal tendencies must hunt down and destroy a supernatural killer while keeping his own inner demons at bay. Every town has its monsters.
All right, tagline. This was my pick. It was just one of the more. I saw it a few years ago. Popped up on Shudder, of course. I just thought it was really interesting. Also, like, I don't know, it reminded me, like, the character reminded me a lot of myself, and the setting was so fucking nostalgically like, oh yeah, I lived there, that I guess it really resonated with me and struck a chord. But I did. Yeah.
I get it. I can relate. I'm also not a serial killer.
Yeah. I mean, just like the kid's fucking whole aesthetic, like everything. Like I could find a picture of me in high school and put it next to that kid, and it'd be like, oh, hey, yeah. Is he a serial killer? Because I had to tell people that several times myself when I was in high school. So, you know, I guess that's another reason why it resonated with me, because all my friends thought I was going to kill people. But anywho.
Christopher Lloyd was a nice.
Christopher Lloyd was sweet. Yeah.
So great.
No,
if anyone thought the lead in this looked familiar, he played the little boy in Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where
Yeah, it
he
was
played
just a-
Max.
I'll review that movie.
Not a favorite.
No.
Yeah, I dug the movie. I thought it was a fun look at a couple different things at once, kind of combining like this pseudo-psychological thriller with the main character with what ends up being a monster movie with a little, you know, some tinges of, you know, local family Midwest drama. Like, I thought it was just a pretty satisfying watch overall. I really enjoyed a lot of the scenes, a lot of the performances. I loved when he was getting confronted by the bully at the dance, and he just like broke down, like
because we've done that.
yeah. It's like, oh, you know, just think you like you're not anything, like you're just an object. You're kind of like a box, but you know, when you cut boxes open, you can find a nice prize inside. I'm just like, that's so good. Just make people confused and uncomfortable and walk away. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, maybe could use a little bit more of the budget as far as like the monster work goes, but it was still pretty satisfying.
They did pretty well,
enough, yeah.
Especially the final confrontation with the alien.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't feel that it needed it. I feel like this story was good enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To where I don't even care. Like that monster was whatever in my mind made it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I would agree with that person.
I love the distraction of the kid's tendencies versus what's really happening, and he's like, for a while it made you think, well, is he like doing it in his sleep? Is what's happening? You know?
Yeah.
I love the distraction of it, and it wasn't as like he was just as fucking freaked out as we would be if you were murdering somebody. And that was fun.
Yeah,
I really think that took us for a ride, and it did exactly what we were supposed to. It was very easy to make us go along for the ride, and I agree that having him in it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was a nice treat. That was when I first watched him, like, oh shit, and then like him being the monster, it was just it was super fun.
Such an Christopher Lloyd role.
Yeah. No, that was definitely like my takeaway from it. The first time I watched it too, was just like, man, this is just so cool to have seen him do this.
I'll be honest, when it clicked in my head, it was like there's something more happening. I really thought the kid was not. I thought he was a monster.
Right.
I thought he wasn't killing people.
Right.
Because he knew it was wrong, but something was making him do it, and we would get to see that.
You thought it was like brain scan or something.
Yeah. And it took me like it's like, oh shit, it's that dude, you know, like, and that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, I really liked a lot of it. I liked the main character and the themes it was getting into with him. As far as like, you don't see that kind of character very often. That is like just blatantly, mentally ill.
Right, just coping.
Yeah,
just dangerously mentally ill person just coping day to day.
And I loved a lot of the filmmaking as far as the camera work and stuff.
Right.
I think I was kind of getting excited more for the character part than like the creature feature part.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think I was.
The creature didn't like blow me away.
Yeah.
It was such a minor part to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it told the story so well that the creature was just like, oh fuck, that's happening. Yeah.
I like the entire mystery. I almost would have preferred something more personal driven as far as it is something to do with him. Or something. I don't know. But I did really enjoy it. I really liked it, and I love Christopher Lloyd. And I honestly think, for whatever the budget was, I think they did a pretty great job with the visual effects.
Yeah.
The one first like clue that you get that it's something supernatural when you see like the silhouette of his arm from like turn into like a branch. Right. I thought that was like really creepy. Yeah. And then honestly, like the final reveal of the creature was much more practical effects than I would have expected.
Yeah.
I would have expected like kind of a mediocre, complete CGI shot.
Right.
Just for a low budget movie, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But like they honestly just the fact that it was a physical effect was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I appreciate how the story closed out, and I do appreciate seeing a monster like, what he was doing, like what he gave up.
Yeah.
It was a very personal thing. It was a very like wholesome thing, kind of in its own way. Like trying to give up being a monster, but don't have to be a monster just for the sake of your love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very interesting movie.
Yeah, very interesting. I honestly did not know it was going to go. You might have even said it in the past. I don't remember, but I didn't know it was going to go in a supernatural direction. I thought it was just going to be a serial killer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I much prefer Supernatural over just a serial killer. Just a serial killer is frustrating. Just a guy with a knife. That's when I start.
I mean, again, it just depends on how it's being handled.
Yeah.
If it's like dissecting the idea of a serial killer, that's interesting. If it's a guy just, I'll just love stabbing. Here I go killing again.
Oh, yeah. And like not presenting anything as to how we can pull this off.
That might be the best Rick and Morty extra character ever. Here I go killing again.
Oh, I sure do love to kill.
Gotta get my stabbing.
Oh, here I go killing again. That's probably like all-time most quoted line from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I am not a serial killer.
My overall like I thought the movie was good. Like I feel like if Christopher Lloyd is not in the movie, I have a much more negative take on it. I think.
Sure.
I think that like the novelty of having somebody that you don't expect to be in this type of a movie like went a long way for me.
Sure.
And then the kind of double novelty that he twists is the villain.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, exactly.
He's such a friendly old man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. But overall, though, you're satisfied enough with the movie?
I had a good time.
Cool.
Ranked higher than my movie, right? Because it's
I was a
an
little
appropriate
scared.
pick.
I'm like going into it because just the title doesn't like scream Halloween to me, but it was Halloween enough.
Yeah, I mean, it
boxes.
wasn't exactly like I was hemming and hawing about like leaning into a Halloween movie, but like I don't know, so many of them. I mean, your movie was the most Halloween for sure. I think. Either of your guys's. Yeah. I mean, yours. I don't know. Yours is like the traditional idea.
Most
like
traditional
modern,
thought of a Halloween horror movie is probably Waxwork.
Yeah, for sure, because it just captures all of them at once. It wasn't as on point as I would have thought, but I just wanted to take an opportunity to kind of watch something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting than something that would have been typical. Because I mean, I'm gonna be like most of the time picking the fucking schlocky cliche horror stuff anyway, so take a break and do something slightly, a little bit more tangential. So
yeah.
Watch it.
It's
good.
Watch it indeed.
All right.
We are halfway through this quad feature.
I know.
Should we save best for last and talk about Waxwork next?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to do the thing?
Waxwork, 1988, directed by Anthony Hickox. Wealthy slacker college student Mark, his new girlfriend Sarah, and their friends are invited to a special showing at a mysterious wax museum which displays 18 of the most evil men of all time. After his girlfriend and another friend disappear, there's just a lot of after this person and that person plus these people do this and then those people. After his ex-girlfriend and another friend disappear, Mark becomes suspicious. And the tagline is, stop on by and give Afterlife a try.
I mean, just meeting the guy that runs this joint, you should be suspicious.
Right off the bat, I'm pissed about the tagline. There's only one acceptable tagline for this movie, and it's would you like a closer look?
Yeah.
That's
honestly,
the only tagline that works for this movie.
Yeah.
Anything else is garbage.
Yeah, you can't have a movie that has like an attraction in the movie and not just use the attractions tagline as a tagline for that movie.
Yeah.
Like it's like built in. Like,
yeah,
it's a freebie. I swear to God.
It's like
makes these taglines has never actually seen the movie.
It's like if the tagline for Scream was something other than "What's your favorite horror movie?" or like
what is the tagline for Scream? It's probably not.
It's
probably some nonsense.
Or if Saw,
you're probably gonna pick it.
If the tagline for Saw wasn't "Would you like to play a game?" You know what I mean? It's like fucking. Don't be an idiot.
So first off, Anthony Hickox, the director, he's got a couple other gems such as Waxwork 2, Hellraiser 3, and Warlock the Armageddon.
Wait a minute, what happens in Hellraiser 3? Yeah. I don't even remember.
This probably the same thing that happens in the other Hellraisers.
Hellraiser 3, Hell World.
Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth.
It's the same. Hell World's fucking.
I think that was like one of my favorite ones.
Hell on Earth. The club guy annoyed me in that one.
Yeah, I've apparently seen it, but I don't remember.
It was like the most gothy of them.
But that was the highest budget one, and it was that brought out like CD and like,
it had the like Motorhead Hellraiser theme song during the credits.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the first Hellraiser, and I honestly really like the second Hellraiser just because it does something so completely different from the first one. But I literally can't remember. I've apparently seen this one, and I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I don't recall anything from it.
So Waxwork is starring Zach Galligan, which is the stupidest name because it should just be Gilligan. But you might know him as the main character from the Gremlins movies.
And probably nothing else.
He was in Gremlins and Gremlins 2. And guys, I was doing research on this guy's bio. He was most recently in 5 episodes of a series last year called Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai that I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
existed.
I think
this is it's animated.
Yeah, have you guys seen this?
I
I
heard whisperings
just-
of it. I never watched it.
I saw it was animated and it looked more like cute and like not. It's like looks like it's made for kids. So like,
Yeah.
I'm like I don't need to watch
this. He didn't voice the character that he played in the Gremlins. He was credited as henchman number 2.
Henchman number 2.
in 5
He went from the
episodes.
lead to henchman number 2.
It would be very funny if they took a really bad choice and he voiced the Chinese guy at the shop.
But,
Shit.
on to Waxwork. The thing I love about this movie is it literally has everything.
Yeah.
You get vampires, you get werewolves, you get mummies, like anything that you would expect to see on Halloween is in the goddamn movie.
Yeah.
And like for the time that they did it, like I feel like it holds up pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Despite some there's a little fire special effect at the end that is like I remember thinking in the 80s was kind of bad. And it also is bad today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I just thought it'd be like a real fun flick for the Halloween.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
a very good, fun pick for that. It really dialed in on the Halloween spirit of things,
Yeah.
and it was super satisfying to watch for sure.
Yeah,
Just
kinda-
classic 80 vibes along the way.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect 80s horror movie.
It's hard to beat that 80s nostalgia, man.
Yeah, it really made me want to go back and watch the sequel, which I know is not as good, but like, I mean,
May as well.
I was reading about the sequel, and you know who was in the sequel? Like it's been a while. Bruce Campbell is in the sequel.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And so it's this weird
Makes
thing.
sense.
So I'm looking at
It's where
Zach
Bruce Campbell
Galligan's-
goes.
I'm looking at Zach Galligan's profile,
That's
and
not
like,
his name.
it is.
Okay.
But anyway, like his name is Mark in the movie, and he's credited as Mark. But in the sequel, Waxwork 2, it's like Mark something. Like they actually give him a last name.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm going through the profile, and in Gremlins, in the first movie, his name is Billy. And he's only credited as Billy. But then in Gremlins 2, they gave him a last name.
He's a real boy.
So I see that Bruce Campbell has the same last name as Mark in the sequel. So I'm assuming it's like his dad or something. So I'm assuming Bruce Campbell's his dad.
That's fun.
So yeah,
I'm gonna watch
I really
it.
want to go watch it
Dad in the
because
sequel? Yeah. Guess he'd probably be old enough.
But it could also be like it's been a while since I've seen it. It could also be like a long lost relative. Like there is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a
Uncle?
whole, like,
Maybe it's uncle.
time-
Yeah.
From what I remember about the second Waxwork, it is very much like a journey through time kind of a thing.
Sure.
So
Ooh.
it could be like a long lost uncle or something.
Right.
It is called Waxwork 2, Lost in Time.
Yes.
So I would guess there's some time travel.
There is a little bit of time travel.
Gotta be.
You hate time travel, don't you? No, you like time travel. Okay.
love
I've got a couple other friends that hate time travel, and it's hard to keep people apart.
I love time travel when it's.
I love
when
time
it's
travel
good.
regardless of quality.
It's always even if it's bad, even if it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense, it's like the concept is fun.
It's
Like,
fun.
I'm gonna have fun watching.
I just want to be.
I'm like, okay, I'll let that go. I see that there's a huge hole in what you did there. But I'm
Well,
gonna
I mean,
continue
yeah.
watching and
There's
enjoy
no
it.
way there
Yeah.
cannot be a huge hole. I like to see them like I don't know try to rationalize it at least like spin me something like okay you tried you did
Yeah.
your due diligence but there's just like glaring holes everywhere and they just don't address it at all. Then I get a little annoyed I guess. But.
I mean, I liked in a. I know we don't really have fans of the Marvel movies here, but I did like in the Avengers when they do time traveling. They're like, it's not time traveling. We're hopping to a different universe
Timeline.
and
Yeah.
stealing it from there, so it won't actually affect our timeline. We'll
Right.
just fuck up their timeline.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way comics work. Though.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have to.
I know it doesn't have a lot of fanfare, but what I really enjoyed just the concept of the time traveler's wife.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Just because here's time travel, the guy can't control it. Like he's just his entire life is just jumping. through
Yeah, that's
time.
a
He can't
super
control it.
interesting look
And
at
I just
time
really
travel.
love that take on it.
Yeah.
Nobody'd ever done that before.
Yeah, that's also the thing with time travel is I like when people take it in a scientific sci-fi way, but I also like when people take it in like a supernatural, fantastical, there's like no explanation for it
Right.
type of way, like
Yeah.
that. Or what was the rom-com About Time? You saw that one,
Yeah, I
right?
saw that one.
Yeah, where like they don't even like give an explanation. It's like it just happens,
Yeah,
you know?
it's just like son. You're a time traveler. I know this because I am a time traveler.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like, a lot of things you don't really need a setup.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's more about the experience, so.
Yeah.
As rubber teaches.
Now back to Waxwork.
Waxwork. I love all the little exhibits. I love that they start with the werewolf and, like, just how they set it up. It's like you kind of walk into the exhibit and boom, you, like, kind of step into another world and become part of, like, basically your death makes you part of the exhibit. And, like, I love the transitions. Like, so the first guy walks into this little werewolfville and meets this man and tries to, like, play the bit that he's supposed to play in this new world that he walked into. And then immediately, like, kind of gets turned into a werewolf and dies and all this. And so, like, he completes the scene. And so, like, the scene ends with him, like, dying as he's turning into a werewolf. And, like the last, like, still shot is, like, a pan back, and you see, like, his friends walk by him as they're walking through the museum.
Yeah, it's a sweet
I
transition.
really like the way that they did those transitions throughout the film.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's one of the most memorable, nostalgic things about it for me, for sure.
Yeah,
I liked the how they didn't focus on the entire story. The one especially was when the bully goes through, and then he just kind of pushes him into the exhibit, and then it just cuts to his dead wax figure. I like that they
we don't need all of them.
messed around with the format, For like from the beginning, I almost thought like, oh, we're just gonna see these 6 friends die one by one, and then it's gonna be the end of the movie, and I was like, cool, let's go.
Yeah,
they almost make it seem like when they do the thing with the bully, they almost make it seem like it's inevitable. Like, like you go in there and immediately, like, you're gonna be like, you're not surviving this, But then they kind of fuck that up by the main character going into one and getting out because he doesn't believe in it or whatever his shtick is. Like
the belief.
Oh, the other thing is, like, the love interest, Sarah, I'm pretty sure she was in Twin Peaks as some character. And I do remember...
I feel like I know the character you're mistaking her for.
To some other chick that is not memorable at all. I do remember that being another turnoff. I think it's got like if you look at like IMDb scores, it's probably like a whole point down. It's like,
they usually are.
I do want to rewatch it though. That is one.
I'm gonna rewatch it. I got them both on Vudu last year for like $3 a piece.
I mean, with the nature of it just being a fun movie anyway, like, what does it hurt to watch?
Yeah,
a fun sequel.
That is the other thing. Waxwork 2 doesn't have the whole like. Doesn't really have the bit where you go into the little display. Like, it's really not a Waxwork from what I remember. It's like a completely different thing. So
it's just a time travel movie with wax
I don't
in
want
its
to say,
name.
Dude, like, it's honestly, but it's probably been 30 years.
The guy who's running the wax. Wait, does he die? I was gonna say he's not in the sequel. Apparently,
he's not. No, it's a new villain. It's the blonde-haired guy who's in a lot of stuff in the 80s.
Oh, cool. I know
there
exactly.
are a lot of those.
Yeah, it's the blonde guy.
The blonde.
The blonde.
You'll know him.
Blonde guy.
You know the guy. I'm sure Reese has got his name there.
I need to know now.
I'm trying to figure it out.
It's like, because it's him and another guy, but he's not it's not the guy in Warlock. It's the other guy that reminds you of the guy from Warlock.
Okay.
Yeah, out there.
I'll have to watch it and tell you
exactly who I'm talking about now.
If 5 minutes into the sequel, I go, holy shit! I knew exactly who he's talking about.
No. Okay, this is terrible radio.
Okay.
Never mind.
No.
Watch Waxwork. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I don't know. I mean, as our generation, like, it's hard to just beat that fucking old school nostalgia of it, and maybe that makes us pick it up higher on how much we enjoyed it than we should. But I think it's a fun movie. It's a movie that you look at what it is, you look at it for what it is, acknowledge that it's a fun movie, you just have fun with it, and I think it delivers there for sure.
Yeah. It's very fun. I wish they didn't like focus so much on the premise of these are the 18 evilest men of all time, because that just falls apart immediately. It doesn't make any sense.
The other thing with that is they kind of just throw it in at the end.
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest gripe with horror movies is, to some extent, all horror movies have the scene where, like, let's talk about what we're up against.
Yeah.
And like, Like, fuck that scene, man. Like,
Yeah.
every goddamn horror movie has that scene. It's so refreshing when you see one that doesn't.
It depends how it's done.
And that is the version of that scene. In that movie.
So to me, it depends how it's done because I feel like for some scenarios and creatures and characters, I mean, you kind of have to. Like, the characters should, and it's kind of fucking stupid if they don't do that. But it all depends on the setup. So it is super typical. I agree with that. That it's most of the time it's wasted effort because they're fucking retards anyway, and just do everything wrong after they talk about it, and just die anyway. But I mean, some acknowledgement of what it is makes sense in a setting. If it's like a crazy, like in that movie, it makes more sense. Like, let's talk about this crazy thing that's happening. Like, if it's just a dude with a knife, like, you don't need to talk about a dude with a knife because it's a fucking dude with a knife.
Yeah.
You just get some sticks and you fucking beat the shit out of the dude with a knife. So I don't know. It just depends for me on that particular angle.
One thing I got out of it, this watch that I wouldn't have like 20, 30 years ago, was when you first meet when the teens first meet the guy who owns the Waxwork, and like, it's these two chicks like meet this guy, and they're just like, oh my god, we just met this guy, and he was like he was dressed like really nice, and like they're making it like this guy's like sexy,
Yeah, oh no,
he was dressed like a cheap magician and a child.
Yeah, no, he was dressed like a cartoon character.
Dude,
for sure.
he was British and he's got drip. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's got money. He ons this house, dude.
Yeah, look at this place.
Listen to his accent.
The money is spilling out of this man's pockets. I'm sorry, waistcoat.
Yeah.
I mean, also, what I don't remember. Does it say like where this is in the country? It's probably like Ohio.
Give him a last name.
You've never met someone outside of Ohio, let alone a British person.
Right.
Sure.
It's probably California. Most of these '80s movies that don't really say where they are, if you look it up, it should take place in California.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, definitely a good movie though. Fun
Yeah,
movie.
very
it was
very
watch,
fun.
for sure. I think it's everything that a '80s horror should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
On the more polite side of things, not any super gratuitous violence or anything like that. But
Yeah, it's the working men's horror.
I think no like violence, but I will say that the scene when the vampires are on the table just eating the fucking like raw meat, like dude, that scene is disgusting.
yeah, no, that was a cool scene for sure.
Yeah, that girl did not put up nearly enough resistance to just eating that.
Yeah,
Plate
I
of
like how
disgusting
I haven't
raw
had
meat.
steak tartare and I really liked it. Like, bitch, you've never had it.
Yeah,
If you ever had it, you would know it looks nothing like that.
yeah.
It's like literal blood stew.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Not to get back on it, but the 18 Evil Men thing like really feels like they had to tack that on to sell the movie.
It's like, in the whole like 666.
Yeah.
18,
Yeah, I feel like some studio executive was like, okay, and what are the people in the Waxworks? And they're like, I don't know, they're like creepy guys. Like, yeah, but what are they?
Yeah.
I do like the concept of how like all the exhibits like only get one kill, and then like they're like locked. It's like only when you walked into ones that don't have a kill.
Oh right, yeah. No, that's a really cool space.
Yeah,
like,
see
it's
that
cool,
even that idea of like each exhibit has to get a kill to unlock that's cool. It's just like the weird tack on of what these guys.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Put like logic to it. No, yeah, even that like really the motivation of the museum to get all of these kills. That's actually a lot of horror movies struggle to give decent motivation or reason to why the horrific things are happening. Besides,
sometimes less
they're
is more, and
happening.
if you don't try to explain the reason behind it, maybe it's a better movie.
Right.
Like, you could have added another kill room in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole scene about where we explain why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then you could have also got rid of the fire at the end that looked really
No, I mean, when it's a movie that's based on like that, it has more of a story involved. I think it has mechanisms working. It's not just like people dying for no reason or just a random murder. Like I think it's appropriate enough to have some kind of rationale to it.
no, yeah,
You don't have to get,
I like the structure.
There's often times where they get way too involved and then they trip over their own feet and fuck shit up.
Yeah,
Kind of like time travel movies can do.
I'll probably watch that movie this week. Now that I know it has time travel, I don't know how I didn't realize it has time travel. And it's called Lost in Time, but I'm gonna watch it too. Yeah.
If you're doing it this weekend, man, hit me up. I might come watch it.
I'll let you know if it happens. Yeah.
I've been after watching this. I was like, man, I know I didn't really like the sequel.
You're gonna build it up so much,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna be so pissed.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it!
What the
Betrayed me again.
You say brought back the guy from Gremlins.
Gave him some
Generic.
Last name,
Yeah.
Butterless toast.
That fucking guy.
That's his name. Butterless toast.
All right.
All right, that brings us to Jocko batting cleanup as the special guest.
Final pick and the final movie we watched.
Yeah,
Did not stick to the order in which we watched
I figured
anything
we would
except for this
stick
one.
to the order, but we didn't. So
Well, we just dived straight in,
yeah,
It's all good.
and it worked.
yeah.
Oh, looks like somebody hasn't updated their letterbox. Dustin says he wants to watch In the Mouth of Madness. Not that he has seen it.
Loser.
For shame. I haven't even used Letterboxd.
Okay, ready for the
Yeah,
Tag
do
it up.
Thing.
In the Mouth of Madness, 1994, directed by John Carpenter. An insurance investigator begins discovering that the impact a horror writer's books have on his fans is more than inspirational. And the tagline is, "Lived any good books lately?" I feel like it needs another pass. It needs like one. It's
Yeah,
almost there.
It's close.
Yeah, I
It's
don't feel
close.
like it's there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
The
that's-
tagline should have been something about belief. I mean, the whole.
Yeah.
Again, it's right there.
Right.
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
tagline.
That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
That's
if
right.
you haven't seen the movies. Like, who's
That-
Sutter
like,
Kane?
They would have been
You're
like,
gonna find out.
"Fuck's that mean?"
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
have
Now I want to
watch
watch this movie.
That's a good tagline. Idiots. God.
Wow. What were you? One?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This is one of those life changers for me. I think when I knew I was into horror, this movie when I was like 14 when this come out, and I knew I loved horror from just happened to see Hellraiser when I was like 10 or something,
Yeah.
and like I knew it was fun, and I saw this and I realized from this movie I went, "Fuck, I like monsters."
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever said that. But I think this movie shows me the power of belief.
Right.
And it really made me think about that as that young teenager.
Right.
To what if enough people, just like the movie is,
Yeah.
enough people believe something, it's real. And
Right.
that is so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without any of the monsters of the
Right.
horror in the movie, that concept is so scary.
Right.
And I put that together, and I'm like, "Fuck! I'm the smartest man in the world now." I get it. I get the world.
Right. Don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's a shit
The older
show.
you get, the more you start to see it creep into like real life too.
Yeah.
It's like, people just run away with these ideas and like
Yeah.
worship these fucking
Oh, yeah.
plots.
That's, I mean,
Well,
this
because the shit
literally
becomes real to them.
every political issue right now is somebody made something up, and now we're deciding who we're going to vote for because, like,
Yeah.
it's like the issues that people are talking about are so people are not educated on them at all, and you're deciding people's politics.
It's funny because you
Fuck
took it
this
to
election.
yeah. New name of the. But it's funny because you're talking about like politics and like I don't really get into it, but like we were watching someone on TV the other day and like an ad came on. And it was like one of those political ads.
Yeah.
And it was just like, "Hi, I'm somebody running for something," and it's like and the dude just spent like his 30 seconds talking about things that he would like to make better, and I'm just like, you know what? That's a good ad because normally it's like this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
That's pretty much all it is. It's like,
It's just
they're
like, he didn't
evil.
call anybody a twat. Like I mean,
Yeah.
he literally just said these are things that I'd like to make better, and it's like, you know what? I gotta hand it to the guy.
Yeah.
Like he did it the right way instead of just like smearing somebody's name through the dirt. Like he just actually brought up an issue and said this is something
Yeah.
that could be better. And it's just
No,
like,
that's all it
That's
usually
awesome.
is.
Not going
just-
to win, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I literally heard an ad the other day that was Kamala Harris wants to use your tax dollars to bring immigrants in and change their gender. Like,
Right.
that sounds like a South Park joke.
Yeah.
But I literally heard that on a commercial.
You know what?
Like-
That movie would be scary.
Kamala Harris is building an army of transgender Mexicans.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, I think I think it's John Carpenter's horror movie specifically. His good movies. Every time I watch them, kind of just feels like the first time, and that I'm like blown away by how fucking good it is.
Yeah, no, the ones that are good, like they
Yeah.
fucking hit hard, man. They're
I literally
fantastic.
watched this movie last October, and it all felt like so brand new to me, to the point where I was once again going like, damn, this movie's made for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. It's incredible. I fucking love this movie.
It's the suspense, I think.
Yeah.
There's like an eerie mood to his films.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one especially, like he goes super deep on it with the Cthulhu tie, and just perfect casting on the lead for Sam Neill to be the guy doing that kind of a thing. He just kills that super eerie setting.
Yeah, and the guy that plays the author is also very well
Oh my
cast.
god,
Yeah.
he looks like he was made just for this role, and then he disappeared off the face of the earth.
I've seen him in other things, but I couldn't. Tell
Yeah,
you
not
one thing
not
that I've
very
seen him
many.
in.
It's all
Yeah.
like super fringy stuff.
And he doesn't look real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like he
like,
looks
on
like his
screen.
face is mostly makeup
Yeah,
or
he doesn't look
prosthetics.
real. And
He was in Fire Walk with Me, apparently,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and David Lynch's Dune, which, given his face, that makes
Yeah, actually,
total
I
sense.
remember him in Dune. I can't remember who he played. I do remember. I just watched that not that long ago. Yeah, no, and Mouth of Madness is just fucking perfect, kind of perfect telling of Cthulhu stuff. Like, in the broadest scope and broadest strokes, just kind of captures captures our need for the idea of it, which is kind of what's really powerful about horror, and especially Eldritch horror, is just like we need to fill those gaps, so we come up with these things, and then we get lost in the things that we come up with. It's really, really perfect.
I I went into both this and the other one,
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. Just knowing, all I knew is that I fucking loved The Thing. I still think The Thing is like the best horror movie, period. And I knew that John Carpenter kind of considered these three movies as like a spiritual trilogy of sorts. And so I went into Prince of Darkness and Mouth of Madness with like the highest expectations, and they both like blew me away. This is like a trilogy of perfect movies.
So I saw In the Mouth of Madness for the first time like 25 years ago, and I wasn't really sure if I had seen it or not. I thought I had, but I wasn't sure. But as soon as we started watching it, it all came back.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Prince of Darkness. I don't think so. It's possible I have, but I don't think I have.
I haven't either.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh,
It's really good. Yeah.
Wow.
So again, there's some really cool ideas in there using the church and using.
Yeah, it's the most spiritual of the three, so maybe Dustin will hate it.
Yeah, but it's like it's just super fucking like weird take on it. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, it's like the most unique
Yeah, it's
direction
just the
to
most
take
fucking,
the church is
like-
evil.
Well, yeah, and it's some shit that you'd hear from a fucking twacked out fucking hippie at a bonfire after he's like
Like,
eating
no man,
too
the
much
government's
shit.
run by lizard
Yeah,
people.
Jesus was an alien. Like it's fun. And
Yeah.
it's really well done and really fun practical effects as always. And that's the thing about like the prime of John Carpenter. The practical effects are just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And slimy and different each time. Like
Yeah,
they're the same, but they're always a little bit different each time. It's
Yeah.
never just okay, he did it again. It's like, well, he's doing his thing, but it's not the same as the thing before.
There's a lot of slime.
Yeah. Oh, he likes the slime. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Likes his slime. For sure. But who doesn't like some slime sometime, I guess.
Who doesn't like some slime?
Who doesn't like some slime? I mean, there's a whole like kid show. Kids apparently love slime back in the day. Yeah, no, it's super satisfying, and it's like, man, it just sucks that like he did so many fucking stinkers that like I could rave to people about John Carpenter, but then you like have to like, well, just so you know, let's just avoid.
Just stop after the mid '90s.
You know, like because some of these are just like.
Is just a good point.
Yeah. Stop. I think stop at 1995.
Yeah. Do not watch Escape from LA. Do not watch Vampires.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Indeed.
Escape from LA was so fucking sticky. It was so silly.
I feel like obviously the movie does not hide its Stephen King inspirations.
Oh no.
It feels like
for sure.
A degree of an
John
homage.
Carpenter did his fan version of a Stephen King adaptation and then kind of just
It
did.
actually kind of reminds me of the Dark Half.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it feels like he then made the best Stephen King adaptation ever, even though it's not based on a Stephen King thing. Though it may obviously maybe a bit more half between Stephen King and Poe, but yeah. Oh,
I wish he would have directed
The Dark Half.
a good chunk of
Like
any of
any
the Stephen King.
movie, just-
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
about
Make
to
it
say
better.
like that would have been so much cooler because like a lot of Stephen King stuff I'm like,
And then the one
good, but not
the one Stephen King he does, Christine.
Mm-hmm.
What
I
a
haven't watched
choice.
that in fucking ages.
I remember really liking it. I actually think that's one of his better films.
Oh no, I
One
saw
one of the better Stephen King films is Christine.
Yeah. I got
Be
to
careful
see
not to associate those two, because he doesn't like he'll look at a script and go, check. Like he doesn't give a he doesn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
I know
He's
we
like,
had
this is
the-
your story of mine.
Yeah.
I already made the money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We had
right.
the debate over the weekend. They were talking about best Stephen King movie. I'm like, I mean, it's just the prison movie, right? Like, it's just Shawshank.
Yeah.
Like, not really a debate. Like it's just that. and
Yeah,
move
I didn't
on.
even fucking realize that. That blew me away. Like,
Shawshank, Green Mile. I mean, lots. There's
Green Mile,
there's-
yeah.
The Shining.
Yeah, I guess there's
blockbusters
probably
on
just a
top of-
bunch of shit that I just wouldn't realize was his. Which I guess
The original
is
Carrie?
really-
Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a
that was a
good
fun
credit
one.
for him too to have
Yeah.
written so many dynamic things that I
Oh
worked
my
on.
God.
Dennis was like kind of a sweet little hidden
Yeah.
like that movie made me feel a little
yeah.
I think he's got to have like
Yeah.
he's probably has a record for like the
He's
most
doing like the Bronco Negotiation.
adaptations of his
Yeah.
works
Oh,
outside
yeah,
of someone
got
like
to.
Yeah.
who's the Perot?
Oh right.
What's her name?
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Like maybe she's up there,
Right.
but I mean Stephen King, he's got to be
No,
almost
it's
like a world record holder.
I mean, honestly, like
For
the
what?
amount of
He
shit
is
the
the
guy's
most
pumped
books.
out.
No, the most adaptations of his works.
Oh no,
Oh.
but he's also got the most books.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
written the
you
most
ever notice,
novels.
Like every
the
time you
most
go to a
stories.
bookstore, there's a new Stephen King
Yeah.
book. Like the dude, what is
Those
he?
two
like,
last
is
year.
he shoot out like 4 a year? It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
He just sits.
In
They
an
could
interview,
actually-
they said, how do you make so many books? Like, do you just sit down and just go, these ideas come to me nonstop, you know? And then he's like, yeah, and a lot of cocaine.
yeah. Yeah. Shit. Yeah, I mean that tracks. Speaking of Stephen King, he had a cameo in a really weird movie that I just came across randomly a couple years ago. Night Riders.
Hmm.
You guys ever about
No.
the fucking? It was a
Did he have a leather coat on?
no. It was a reenactment troupe. Had Ed Harris in it. It was about bikers that ran a Renaissance reenactment fair and did jousting on motorcycles. It was directed by George A. Romero.
Huh, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
How is this not in conversation?
Yeah.
Oh, I recognize. I've seen this
I don't know how
poster
I
a ton.
missed
I want to see it just because of this
I
poster.
kept
my God,
seeing
that's
the poster.
amazing.
I kept seeing the poster, and that's exactly why I watched it.
But I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
That,
No,
that
it
sounds
was
really,
sweet.
really fucking
Oh,
fun.
Tom
Is that
Savini's
a
in it too.
6-cylinder motorcycle too? It's like a Valkyrie.
Yeah, that's fun.
Or is just 3?
But they like
Yeah, it's a sixer.
The-
I'm into this. I wanna watch this
the
back.
bit of the character is that he like was a doctor or something, and like it's this whole thing is their like effort to move away from society and create something pure again. So they have like this code of honor and shit amongst
It's their
their
Fight Club.
I mean, that's literally like
it's
if
the
you've
Knight's
seen
Code.
the movie,
Yeah.
The Bike Riders.
Right.
It's literally the same story, just like more based on a true story kind of thing. But
I also fucking
Double
love
feature.
Ed Harris.
I like Ed Harris too.
Ed Harris is sick.
Yeah, that seems like a sweet movie.
It was fun.
You know, I was thinking you could like really.
Holy shit! It's 2 hours and it's almost 2.5 hours long.
It's quite the story.
Damn.
There's a lot to pack.
Yeah, there's actual story. It seems like it's just bullshit, but there's like a lot of story.
What we were saying with the number of Stephen King titles, you could almost make that a game show,
right?
Where you just like real Stephen King title or not real Stephen King.
Yeah, for sure.
Doctor Sleep. The girl who loved Tom Gordon. Surely that's not a real. It's a real one.
I just throw random shit there like Jack Ryan. They'd be like, oh god, no.
I know it's a book. I know I've seen it at an airport bookstore.
Yeah, it must be a Stephen King book.
All
right.
So Mouth of Madness. Everybody, of course. Dug the shit out of it. It's wonderful.
I mean, it's just classic.
3 thumbs up from me.
Watch every good.
I'm glad that you had the dark half because I totally got like the dark half vibe.
I
You guys
think
ever seen The Void? Speaking of Cthulhu movies, that's a really good.
Yeah.
That's a really
that's
good.
a newer one
because it was
yes.
I haven't, but you have talked to me
good.
about it before, either on here or.
It's a really awesome. I remember walking. I've only seen it the one time, but I remember watching it and just being so pleased, blown away by that.
The Dark Half is also a George A. Romero movie.
Oh, I did not know that. It's not a great movie. It's a better book than a movie, but which is probably true with all of this.
And it's just about every Stephen King.
Yeah, it's a cool. It's one of those like a cooler concept than an actual movie. I think. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's gonna do it for the features.
There we have it.
We have anything that we missed?
Yeah.
I recommend all these movies.
Indeed.
All right. We have 2 acts of business, which is Reese. Are there any good Halloween movies that people should go see?
Smile 2.
Smile 2.
I highly recommend it. Let's see what else.
I'm sure there's some good Christian films.
Good
locally.
Christian films.
You know the Warsaw Theater plays like 3 or 4 Christian films a week or something.
Movies that you like. They're literally these are movies that are showing in like under 1,000 screens nationwide, and they come to Warsaw.
We get like all of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did
not know it.
They also have Indian movies.
Yeah, they've started getting a lot of Indian films.
Yeah. Which is interesting. There's been a couple that I've been tempted to go watch.
Bollywood.
Bollywood stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be more of the action movies than like Bollywood, but I mean, I haven't seen any of them in theaters, even though I'm sure they're fun.
Even their action movies. I mean, did you watch what was it, RRR?
Yeah, that movie was a blast.
Fucking insane, and that movie was super Bollywood, like crazy action, and then like fucking straight up 25-minute dance sequence. What felt like 25-minute dance sequence.
It's and it comes crazy. Back again later.
Yeah.
There is a Christian movie called The Carpenter. You can make the connections there.
What?
Returning to theaters, we have Beetlejuice.
Romance novel.
Returning to theaters.
The Wild Robot, Terrifier 3, and Smile 2.
I will watch Terrifier 2 and 3 for due diligence, but the first one was a piece of shit.
I feel like you should watch Smile 2 and then Terrifier.
If you're going to see a horror movie in theaters, please go see Smile 2.
I mean, they just get redder.
Yeah.
And then movies that have come to theater in the past week or so that we didn't talk about last time, we have Venom 3.
Hugely rated right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Well?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Venom movies.
The people I've been listening to,
stupid.
they said this one has been really fun.
Yeah.
The first 2 were really fucking stupid.
To watch it.
I mean, I love Venom. Reading Venom.
I feel about
I like
Venom
the
with
actor.
Tom Hardy the way that John feels
Hardy.
about Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I feel like I got framed.
Oh yeah. He fucking
Like, what a sellout.
He could have been a somebody.
What a great movie.
Hey, if you had that money,
Yeah.
You can do both though.
You can do both.
He just stopped making good movies.
No,
Don't have to.
I'll forgive all the shitty movies if people. I'll forgive shitty art if people make good art sometimes. Like whatever.
The letterbox.
You gotta pay your bills. I get it.
The letterbox score for Venom 3 is 2.6. So
Holy shit!
not surprising to me. That's about what I was.
The first one was.
Oh,
really
that's
bad.
on a scale of 5.
Oh, yeah.
That's on a scale of 5, though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2.6 out of 5.
not-
But for letterbox,
that's an
that's
average score.
That's actually above average. I would say that's slightly above average.
I mean,
3.6.
anything under 3 on letterbox, I would say is the community is not liking it.
2 points. I thought you said 3
Yeah,
points.
No,
Two-
2.6
I
out
think
of.
that's a great rating. for
No,
it.
oh yeah, I would probably go see it if it had a 3.6,
Oh,
just out of
2.6
curiosity.
is
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then there's a new A24 romance drama with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh called We Live in Time.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet. Probably will, just because I like those actors. I like A24.
Probably a good movie.
It's probably a good time. I mean, not a good time. It looks sad.
Fuck This Movie is a huge fan of A24.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
We
So
just,
nice.
we just love their shit here.
And Florence Pugh is hard to not deny too. She is like incredible. And then the Indian film that is currently in theaters, I think it came out last week, is called Amaran. In parentheses, Telugu. I don't know what that
I'm
means.
sure you pronounce those correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's the real title
Right.
and which one's a translation
Right.
or a subtitle. Yeah. And that movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. So.
Jeebus.
Holy shit.
Epic.
And I think that's short for an Indian film. I don't know. They just, I guess
They just go.
maybe they just like to get a bang for their buck, right? Like you're paying the same price regardless of the length.
Yeah, they
So
just
you
cut out
wanna
the
get
editing
a
process.
lo-
They
yeah.
Yeah.
A new animated movie looks terrible called Hit Pig.
Hit.
Hit.
just- It's got a
Pig.
bad title.
Yeah, Hit Pig exclamation mark.
Ooh.
So it joins the exclamation mark cinematic universe with Mother exclamation mark.
I don't know if it's as bad
I don't
as
know
the
what that
Kid
is.
Detective, but
New film.
it's
Oh,
actually one of the most underrated films that we've done this year.
Oh, it was a wonderful movie. It was super fun.
Have you seen The Kid Detective, Jocko? You should check out The Kid. Horrible title, but like really, actually a good
Yeah.
movie.
Just like I wouldn't have watched Baby Driver.
Yes, it's exactly the same. There's
Yeah.
not actually kids. It's not actually about kids. There aren't kids in it.
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
it's about kids. He just grows up.
yeah, whatever. It's about an adult.
So they doing it.
Yeah.
They grow up.
Okay, so 2 new movies out this week. One is just another generic Liam Neeson movie called Absolution.
Nice. That sounds like the most of that.
How many skills
his
does he have?
daughter gets stolen by terrorists and something.
And he was
You want to take bets on how many skills he has?
well, it's not about how
all
many.
of it.
It's a
has
certain
all of
one, you know. It says an aging gangster attempts to reconnect with his children and rectify the mistakes in his past, but the criminal underworld won't loosen their grip willingly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
no, you
should-
can't talk to your daughter.
He should redeem himself by doing a sequel to Darkman.
Just do the reboot of that.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Actually, see a sequel would be great.
Yeah, an actual sequel.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get
That,
an
like,
actual sequel.
That newer trend they've done where they just cut off all the shitty ones and start
Pretend this
over.
never happened and we're
Yeah.
doing this now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah, it works.
Because it was Darkman's solid, dude. Darkman's a good ass movie.
Yeah. This in 6 months or 2 days will be indistinguishable from every other Liam Neeson movie of the past 20 years.
Yes.
And then a curious movie that I have heard mixed things on. It's the new Robert Zemeckis movie called Here. Have any of you seen the trailer for this?
I have, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a great cast.
What was the last Robert Zemeckis movie?
Nothing good.
It's been a while since.
No, honestly, it hasn't. It's just that
It was really bad.
they're
It's
all
something bad.
really bad, and so you don't hear about them. But here, I'll name like 3 from the past few years that you probably did not hear at all about. He did a remake of the Roald Dahl's The Witches. That went straight to HBO Prime. That has Anne Hathaway in it.
Okay.
He did Allied, which was an Oscar-nominated World War II movie with Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard.
That was a pretty rough one.
Yeah. He did Welcome to Marwin with Steve Carell, where he's coping with his trauma by taking war photography with Barbies in his backyard.
The thing is, you said you probably missed these, and the thing is, I didn't. I just
You chose to forget about them.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This movie may be bad. This is this could be a bad movie.
It's probably gonna be bad. Yeah. Here you
don't go see that. Go see something else. Go see Smile too.
The last movie that Robert Zemeckis made was 2022's Disney live action Pinocchio. That went straight to Disney Plus. Also starring Tom Hanks. And
awful.
I've heard horrendous things about. So yeah, Robert Zemeckis has not had a great track record of late, but maybe it's worth watching. I don't know. It's a concept film in that it's like the camera is like kind of on the mantelpiece in these people's living rooms for like 40 years, and the camera just doesn't move, and so all the scenes happen in this room, and
I don't think I like it.
Yeah, and like
the
they
camera's
just
not moving. And that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
that's your brilliant concept.
And it's literally it starts. I believe the movie starts in like dinosaur times, and then just you try. So like there's an interesting part to it, but I'm sure it's not nearly done as interesting as you hope.
Interested. The camera not moving is like the worst thing you could do.
I was interested in the concept. He goes to dinosaur times.
It starts in dinosaur times, so it's like literally from the dawn of time in this one spot. It doesn't move, and then as it moves through time, a house gets built up in this spot.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
So
yeah, it's got a shtick to it.
Yeah, it's a shtick.
I'm intrigued enough.
And that's kind of what Robert Zemeckis movies have been lately, is just a shtick.
I'm just old and fucking around now.
Like they're always based around like. So he did a series of movies you may or may not have seen that were all animated. Like he did a Christmas.
Quote marks in the air.
Yeah, I did quote unquote animated. Like he did The Polar Express and A Christmas Carol and Beowulf. Beowulf, obviously the most standout is it animated? Where it's like completely CGI over top like real actors. Yeah. It is kind of like a rotoscope, but it looks ugly as shit.
I've seen this film.
Yeah, it's
is it good?
It's good.
No, I don't think so.
Watch it. How dare you?
2007.
One no and a yes.
Which one?
I watched it.
With Angelina Jolie. Yeah, I think I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it.
It feels weird too watching it with that.
Yeah,
the way the animation works.
I remember not liking the aesthetic of it.
The cast is really impressive, but I don't say it lives up to the cast at all.
I think I didn't like the title.
The title of the oldest story in existence.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a shit story. I've read the book, and it's kind of a slow burn, man.
Kid Beowulf, this title sucks.
Yeah, it is a basic telling of that story. I mean, it's
well,
fundamental.
But honest, it's not, because it changes it to that he fucks Grindel's mom. That's not in the original tale at all. Yeah. He just kills her.
Spice it up, man.
My god! No, it's an experiment. If you want, that's what Robert Zemeckis' movies of the past 2 decades have felt like, where it's an experiment.
He's old and he's fucking around.
Yeah,
I get it.
So yeah, I don't know. Here,
see this film. It sounds interesting.
It could be good.
After you watch Smile 2 and Terrifier 3.
So
you got to get comfortable with de-aging though, because it's Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, and they play the characters the entire movie, so they de-age them.
I thought that I hate trailers. I thought the trailer was kind of intriguing. Interested.
It's just a really upbeat, emotional song over top. Interesting shots.
So we kind of got to this place where Tom Hanks is kind of like a negative on your film. I almost don't want to watch a Tom Hanks movie. You know what I mean?
He's like a 50-50.
He's not a draw for me anymore.
He's not a draw or a detractor for me. It really just depends on the person.
Right.
If I hear Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, I don't get excited. If I heard Christopher Nolan and Tom Hanks, I'd probably get excited. Tom Hanks and Wes Anderson, that was great. Tom Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg is kind of 50-50, you know.
Yeah.
I just he can very easily just settle into his role as, you know, the most likable leading man in Hollywood, but he does sometimes make interesting things. So, you know, there's that. Road to Perdition. See, I can never not at least have a soft spot for him because he did Road to Perdition. So yeah.
I have a soft spot about a lot of things in that movie. I don't think it's like the greatest movie ever, but it's a decent movie and it's got a lot of things I like.
Yeah, I love Road to Perdition. Yeah.
Paul Newman fan. So.
Well, let's look ahead 1 week to see if we're missing anything big. No.
All right, that's it. Go see a good movie in theater. Or go see
is
a
there
bad movie.
nothing coming out in early November?
Just watch
Jesus.
movies.
Did you watch? You watched Wild Robot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Watch what?
Wild Robot. It was fun.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It had
Fun
some
animated film.
plenty of adult
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as
specific
that
comedy. So
The Mitchells versus the Machines. That movie was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that
Mitchell's
movie's
versus
just a lot
Machines is
funnier.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So I think the last thing we have to do is we need to pick the focus of the next episode.
Yep.
And I just have one question from you guys. Can you give me two? Like if I do a double feature where there are two longer films, could we make a Wednesday, Friday work in this particular, like next Wednesday, Friday?
Yeah, sure.
If there's a chance we can't do that, I've got an option for just a single film.
This Friday I can't do.
Okay.
Oh, so it'd be next Friday.
So if we could do next Wednesday, Friday,
Yeah, I think I could do that.
I'll make
Yeah.
that work.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the
cool.
shit will be cleared out of the garage by then.
All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a theme here. I'm doing smart sci-fi.
Smart sci-fi.
Yes.
Smart sci-fi.
With the
What exactly
physicist
we talking about here?
Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever. I saw an interview with him, and somebody asked him what the smartest sci-fi, like the smartest sci-fi movie he ever saw, just like as far as the science. And his answer was The Martian.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been curious about this. I've heard you say this.
So we're gonna watch The Martian, and then I want to follow it up with Interstellar.
Okay. Can I ask? We didn't mention this at all. Are these inspired by our new viewing quarters? The projector?
Oh. No, they aren't. Because if I wanted to do that, I would have picked Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just picked
Space
two
will still
space
look-
movies.
The space will still look pretty cool.
and
No, that's what I mean.
spaceship
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
interior
Yeah.
of the metal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these are Interstellar, especially.
I wasn't thinking about the space when I chose the movies. I just really wanted
Yeah.
to do the smart sci-fi because
No, yeah.
we've done a lot of sci-fi, but it's been like more the like actiony, like fun.
Yeah, that's true for sure.
So I just thought it'd be a new take on some things.
Yeah. No, it's both of these more specifically Interstellar are in like the modern subgenre of like, can I ever see these again after I've seen them in theaters? Because like they are so large, so it'll be very cool
Visually
to see them
stunning.
on a
Yeah.
bigger screen.
Which,
big upside.
Didn't he also talk
Works
about
out well.
Interstellar as well?
What?
As,
Oh, did I say
yeah, as being accurate as far as science.
It's been a long time since I heard the interview.
What
I
was
just,
the-
Yeah,
who is in
trying to wrap my head
Interstellar?
around what
I watched it too, and
Interstellar
he said
is
that was very true.
Matthew
to science
McConaughey.
as to how
Anne
all of
Hathaway.
those things would go down. So.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah.
Good
Yeah.
conversations.
I'm sure someone's gonna love listening to that.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
Christopher Nolan. That's
Christopher
who did
Nolan. Okay.
that. The Martian is on Max. Also, I know we're doing two long movies. I have the director's cut of The Martian, and I've never watched it, but I've heard it's like quite a lot different from the theatrical cut. So maybe we could watch that one.
We can watch.
We could talk about it. And then Interstellar, which I have on Blu-ray or whatever, but
This one's definitely a longer movie.
2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so it's almost a 3-hour movie.
This one is on Paramount Plus.
That's the Friday movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
There it
Thank you
is.
for joining us.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Indeed.
That was fun.
Yeah,
watch
Jocko, thank you
movies.
for joining us.
Thank you too.
We're gonna have you back, probably in a year from now.
Yeah.
Approximately. Okay.
Mr.
I can do it.
Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah. Next Halloween, prepare, schedule yourself around it.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I might just watch these other movies you're talking about too, And just
keep
listen
a
in and
list.
chat
Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed.
okay.
angrily.
Indeed.
We need somebody in there doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need interaction.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
tell us we're wrong.
Osher was, but
Yeah,
he
we weren't paying attention to you. There were 4 movies.
Yeah.
If you don't know, then you weren't paying attention.
Even though we didn't list them in the title.
Start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Rewatch. Re-listen. All right.
All right. Thanks for
that's
tuning
it.
in.
Awesome.
Done. Fuck off.
Bye.